Welcome back to Candid Conversations with Shy. So last week the topic was motherhood. Is it the best hood? And so I am going to continue that conversation. Before I do so, thank you for those that look forward to these conversations on Tuesdays. Thank you to those that share. Thank you for those that, physically, not physically, but virtually share the information as well as share by just telling somebody. Tune in on Tuesdays and watch. Please watch. I'm trying to get to a certain point on here so that I can do more with candid conversations. So the best way and the freest way to help me is just to watch the videos, tell people about it. So if you are just visiting here, I need you to do something a little bit different today. In addition to you visiting, if you have not already subscribed, I need you to subscribe. Okay. In addition to that, to like and comment, because that is really helpful. So please and thank you. So, as I said, I'm going to continue the conversation surrounded by motherhood. And I'm going to start off with what's going on in these social media streets, which is in alignment with our topic. So, I was minding my business, scrolling, and I this video popped up of a young lady, and it says, because I did a screenshot for today, when my own mother decided not to attend my graduation and told the rest of the family not to go, so they didn't. And y'all probably seen this because at this point, this was last week. At that point, it had over 70,000 likes, over 1,500 comments, et cetera, et cetera. So you probably seen that. And that again, that ties into our topics today because we're talking about the dysfunction within the mother child relationship that oftentimes exists. So, to know me is to know I love definitions. So, dysfunction, abnormality, or impairment in the function of a specified bodily organ or system, which, right, we know that, but also the deviation from the norms of social behavior in a way regarded as bad. That's as plain as we can get. A deviation from the norms of social behavior in a way regarded as bad. And you can definitely look this up because being dysfunction, having dysfunction or being dysfunctional, there's many different avenues to that based on the person, the situation, and all the things. So, going back to this, which just helped me confirm what I wanted to talk about this week, the dysfunction within the mother child relationships. Here are some of the comments. I know some of y'all refuse to believe this nugget of info, but all mothers are not good people. There's a reality check some of us may need, and that's definitely part of the problem. I love the people who are going two sides. There's two sides to every story. Y'all, as if this as if toxic, abusive mothers and families don't exist. So they were being, uh, just like I love how people are acting like, people can be this toxic and abusive and acting as if this does not exist. This is the comment though. Black mothers between the 50s and 80s secretly hate their daughters. Don't at me. I said what I said. After I read that comment, and of course I read other ones, but these were the ones that I screenshot. The girl did well in school. She had honors and was in cheer and track, and is going to a well-known university and all the things, and multiple people said, for the people that are saying there's two sides to every story, y'all part of the problem. There is no two sides. The mama should have been at the graduation. Lo and behold, the young lady comes into the comments. Somebody said she had explained it on another social media site. She came into this one that I found on IG, and she said the reason her mom was mad at her because she did not give her all five of the graduation tickets. The daughter, personally gave her grandmother one ticket and gave her mom the other four. And I know there's still some people that I'm going to say it's more than that. It's more than that. And based on my experience, the things that I have witnessed within other people dynamics with parents, it don't even have to be that deep, because some just want to control. Some are still strongly believe in do as I say, not as I do. Even when you're an adult, I'm a child. You never say anything that's going to make me feel uncomfortable, bad, or whatever because I'm your parent. And I strongly don't believe in that. So, uh, that is what we're going to be discussing today, the dysfunctions within motherhood between us and our kids. I know, when you go through the boomers and the millennials and Gen Z, and based on when you were brought up, there's a whole lot of things that you just had to do and accept. And as the generations kept going and going and going, we start saying, nah, we ain't playing that. No, no, thank you. No, you know. And I'm a firm believer that there's dysfunction in relationships between mother and daughters and mother and son. I've seen it to where mothers act like their son is their man. And it's like, hold up, that's your child. That's the child. If you want all of those things performed and done, I need you to get a man. And a lot of them even had a man. That's the requirement there. This is your son. With mothers and daughters, it's a big one with jealousy, and not being supportive. I've seen mother and daughters go at it, no regard, as we would say, no respect. Um, Daughter calling the mom everything but her name and not positive things, and as well as the daughter. And here's one thing in my personal relationship, in my personal experience, is that nobody gets a pass. And what I mean by that, just because you have a title does not mean you get to treat people any way you want to. And for that person to respond like, oh, this is okay, this is fine with me. No, we're not doing that. We're not ever playing that game. So, within the mother daughter dynamic, when it's an unhealthy relationship, and the mom can look at the daughter and call her, like I said, every B, every hoe, every whatever you want to call it, when the daughter could look at the mom and tell her, you ain't no good, you ain't never been there for me, and all of the things. This is what I always believe. I understand stuff don't come out the best, but when people are expressing how they feel, that is a real feeling. And oftentimes you may not get to express it when you want to, when you need to. You may not have the best words to express it. You may have tried to express it in a very respectful way, but this person is just disrespectful. And so now you're reacting. Okay. And in that moment, you're okay with that. And um when it comes to this, I feel like no, like if you know me, I talk a lot about boundaries. Nobody is exempt from boundaries. mama, daddy, sister, brother, cousin, husband, kids. Like nobody is exempt, right? We all have a responsibility and we all have needs, wants, and things that don't work for us or end or do in all of the things. A relationship requires more than one person to show up. It requires more than one person to compromise. It requires more than one person to listen, to learn, to love. It requires more from more than one person in every relationship dynamic. And so in these relationships, I feel like, especially my generation, um, I was raised that I was part of the generation, kids are to be seen and not heard. Um, you you do what you want to do, and that's just supposed to be okay. If you express your feelings, that was a sign of being disrespectful. And I don't agree with none of that. Never have, and I still don't. And so I was raised by baby boomers. I'm Generation X. And I would say myself at that time was like a millennial or Gen Z. Like I was before my time, living in that time. Like I said, you say something, why? No, I don't want to do that. No, that's not right. Like that was me, right? And I understand that everybody has their stuff, but it is all of our responsibility to deal with our stuff, to heal our stuff, to get through our stuff, to be accountable for our stuff, to be responsible for our stuff. And so what happens is when we don't deal with our stuff and then we bring kids into the equation, we feel like it's fair game. And as parents, oftentimes it's like, oh, we're the final say so. Like we're the person in authority. Like on a job, you may have a lead, a supervisor, a manager, and then the head boss, and then the person that owns the business. It's all these different people that you have to be accountable to. So you just can't go do what you want to do because somebody is going to say something. Well, when you're a parent, who really is going to say something? Like you're a parent. Now, don't get me wrong, you still say something. But I'm just saying, as far as the order, it would require another adult, so most people may have the dynamic of the grandparents and things like that, but everybody is not blessed to have those generations, and oftentimes even when you do, it's dysfunction and toxicity there, right? And so because that's what we're talking about, so in reference to this, being a mom, being a daughter that experienced the um like the we're on the same level, like the comparison. And it's like, you my mom, I'm your child. Like, what are you talking about? Who's the thickest? Who's the biggest? Who's the smallest? Like what are we doing here, right? And oftentimes, because the older generations don't deal with their stuff, we try to live that through our kids. And oftentimes it comes off as unhealed trauma, because it is. It comes off being rude and disrespectful. I am a firm believer. I don't care if you're an adult, a person in position. Kids are people, and you need to respect them. And they have feelings. You need to listen and stop always coming with the, I know you ain't talking to me like that. Well, you don't listen. And I'm about to blow up and I'm trying to express this to you. I remember I even made a post. I said, sometimes as parents, we need to just get over ourselves and stop focusing on how our child is telling us something and listen to what they are really saying. Sometimes we have to stop being, well, no, my kid ain't gonna talk to me. Okay, well, don't allow your kid to talk to you any type of way, because that is not the context in what I'm saying. But allow your child the freedom and the peace and the comfort to be able to express themselves the way that they need to. You hear them, you give them a better way to express it going forward, But move your ego out of the way, because of a lot of our kids are no longer talking to us. A lot of our kids have, we think, oh, their addiction problem has nothing to do with us. A lot of our kids feel like, we feel like a lot of our kids pushed us out just because they want to do what they want to do. No, you were the toxic person in their lives. And when they tried to talk to you, you wouldn't listen, or you never even created that space for them to be able to talk. So the reality is, I'm responsible for myself. I have to protect myself. So if that means I don't come to your house, or if that means, you can only see your grandkids if you come over here, whatever that looks like, we have to start taking ownership within the relationship, because relationships are not one-sided, and you don't get to just say that in reference to your love relationship or your friendships. Relationships are not one-sided when it comes to parents. Yes, we're the authority, the authoritarian, and we have, rules and things and stuff like that. But at the same token, I sent out an email this week, and I said parenting without consulting God is just your. How do you not consult the person that gave you the child? How do you not consult the one that not only gave you the child, okay, but the one that knows exactly how they created and designed them, and these things that this child does that you are not familiar with, that you cannot relate to, that you don't understand? Who, other than your friends and your family, who are you consulting? You have to go to God. You need to go to God. He's the one that gave them to us. So last week I talked about how when you put ego and pride and all that stuff to the side, you're able to learn from your kid. And within the mother child dynamic, a lot of our unhealed stuff can get healed, can be resolved if we allow it to. So, in Proverbs 22:6, it says, train up a child. Y'all go read the whole scripture, but majority of us have heard the scripture. And so, okay, well, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they get older, they will not depart. Well, this one is going to be kinds of complicated for the parent that is not even raising your child. No judgment. We're just speaking facts. If you have not trained up your child, if you have not raised your child, I mean, that's a problem. A huge problem. Okay? And the additional the additional problem that happens is when you're not raising your kid, you are not putting your stamp on them. You are not giving them what God told you to give them. You are not laying the foundation. So a lot of us, we want to come in and say, but I'm your mama, you better respect me. And okay, yes, that is your title. That is a fact. But but in addition to that, yes, that's the title. You are my mom. Okay? But let's look up. Let's look up how uh how motherhood or being a mother is described. A woman in relation to her child or children. Bring up a child with care and affection. Give birth to. A mother is a female parent. Mothers nurture and mother children. Your mother is the one who gave birth to you. Mothers are parents, the female equivalent to a father. Some of us ain't even doing the basics. Again, no judgment, but don't look at this kid like they're the problem. Don't look at other people that's trying to give you better ways and insight on how to handle this as a problem. Don't get too big for yourself and feel like you just know everything because you're the mother. There's books out here to help you parent. There's a lot of things that are helpful. But there's one book, there is one person you can consult and get information and insight that that's needed and necessary. So a lot of parents when I grew up like to quote this. Kids, honor your mother and your father. True. But let me tell you how it was delivered as a teen. That's in Deuteronomy 5 and 16. And it's also in Ephesians 6. But when I discovered Ephesians 6 and 4, where it says, fathers, do not provoke your children. I said, wait, what? Fathers don't do what? Don't provoke your children. Okay, so it's not just the scripture in here for us about us. It's also scriptures in here for them as well. And I just remember feeling so free as a kid because we are made to feel bad. It's like we're not trying to be disrespectful. We're just trying to express how we feel and share what we think and all of the things. And you just keep saying how disrespectful I am and how, I don't need to say nothing. I need to stay in a child's place. Provoke means to stimulate or give rise to a reaction or emotion physically, a strong or unwelcomed one in someone. To deliberately make someone annoyed or angry. Stop provoking your kids. And I'm not saying everybody's situation is the same, but at the base, at the foundation of everything, we got to stop acting like we're the perfect parents. We have to stop acting like it's so hard for us to go to our kids and say, I messed up. In this area, I feel that I failed you. In this area, I wish I was more nurturing. In this area, I wish I said I love you more. In this area, I wish I listened to you more. And what I want to do forward is give you the space and the opportunity to come to me without feeling like you're going to be in trouble or that I'm going to dismiss your feelings and you as a person. We have to really get over ourselves and be able to do that. And I am speaking from experience. Okay. My first encounter, like my kid couldn't even talk. She was 3 months. That plagued me for a whole year. I was like, all my baby wanted to do was drink her bottle. And I don't know why I felt like she could not have her bottle while she was being christened. It was so hard to console her. She cried and cried and cried. After a point, I literally just had to leave her in the room. She was so irritated. She didn't want to be touched and all of the things. And I was like, I will never, ever do that again. Put what I was, what was important before that. And like I said, she couldn't talk or nothing, but I had a conversation with myself. So what things have you done that you could look back and say, I should have not done that? Or I could have done, did this differently. I could have gave them more of an opportunity. I could have cause there's always room for improvement. On our jobs, they require improvement. We have quarterly, monthly, annual evaluations. Come on now. Let's start evaluating ourselves as parents. Let's start evaluating ourselves as a mom. And it's not even to say, oh, bad mom. It's like, no, to help us grow, to help us heal, to help us really connect and build these healthy bonds and relationships with our kids. And Psalms 127:3, it talks about, well, it says, children are a gift from God. And as if you didn't watch last week's video, you need to, because I know that that is not everyone's experience or feeling. That's a struggle. We don't talk about motherhood before actually bringing, birthing the baby. Um, the mental side of it, the emotional side of it. Um, if you're in a relationship, how that can change. In most chance, it will change. Um, the dynamics, bringing other kids into the, just everything. Um, Hormone wise, just again, all of the things. I wish we just talked about this stuff more. So watch last week's video. But as I said, you can go read these scriptures in full, and then you want to get the full context of the scriptures. But it is not our kids' responsibility to deal with our trauma and us not allow them to deal with their trauma, which we're going to be a part of. I've accepted the fact, as much as I do my best to be intentional, aware, mindful in the moment, um, to be the best mother I can, that there are some things that my daughter is going to express to somebody that she was not okay with. And I got to be okay with that, because I don't know everything. Okay. And in her 9 years of life, I have apologized to her several times because I understand I don't know everything. Because of my upbringing, I understand what it feels like to be a kid and not be able to express yourself, and you feeling like it's unsafe to do so. No, I want my child to talk to me. I want my child to be able to express themselves, and I'm more concerned about them being able to express themselves so that I can see how I can help, versus I don't want you to say that because I don't want to be looked at in a negative light. And then we get mad when our kids are making choices and decisions that are unsafe ones, that are can ruin their future and all of these things. But mom, all I wanted to do was talk to you. Mom, all I wanted to do was express how I felt. But mom, all I wanted you to do was say you love me more. But mom, all I wanted you to do was hug me. Mom, all I wanted you to do was show me some more attention. But mom, all I wanted you to know is that it was hard helping you raise my siblings. Mom, what I just wanted to tell you that, I love you, but it just like it's hard for you, it's hard for me. Mom, we have to get over ourselves and start being open, because they are just not here for us to parent. They're here to help us, just like it's our job to help them. And if you are not consulting God about your child, one, if you are not consulting God on how to parent, two, if you are not consulting God about the type of relationship you want to cultivate between the two, three, if you are not consulting God on your unhealed trauma and how to still parent without bleeding on them, four, there's so many different things that we are responsible for. And I understand, because I know sometimes I'm like, it's too much. Not just motherhood, but it's just life. Sometimes it's a lot. It's like, okay, We got our list constantly going. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that. I'm needed here. I'm needed there. I have to make this for that. Like it's so many things. And sometimes I just stop. Whew. Let me breathe. What does God say about all of this that I got going on? Because I know He doesn't want me to feel overwhelmed. I know He does not want me to be confused. I know He does not want me to be unstable. I know He does not want me to be inconsistent. What does God say about this? How do I reorganize my schedule? How do I do the things? For that stressed out mama, let me tell you this. I have a schedule. The schedule helped me, right? Know, okay, this kids are going to eat. These are the things they can eat. Uh, this is how you make them. Um, as they got older, I made menus. This is all the stuff that I buy you guys. This is y'all freezer food. This is stuff y'all can make. This is the stuff, um, these are your snacks. Like, you don't have to do everything. You can't be everywhere at the same time. You ain't God. Okay. So put systems in place to help you. Okay. Um, if you want help with that, like seriously, like reach out to me. But there's systems you can put in place to help you, even between you and your mate. They may not, know, oh, okay, well, I'm going to be gone for a few days. He don't know how to do this, or, whatever it may be. Sister girl, get you a menu, put it up there. There's certain things in the kitchen you need to get. There's times where I've cooked 3 meals all at the same time because of work schedule and things like that. And two, I just don't want to be in the kitchen cooking every day, but I do want to make sure we ain't eating fast food and all that stuff. You have to put things in place that work for you. If you're struggling with, okay, what chores to give your kids, there is free list online. You let them start. So if you need help in that area, like seriously, reach out to me, because we got a lot already going on. I'm not trying to do everything. I believe in delegating, and also, um, what what we see our kids do. Is that what you do? We're their first teachers, and nobody is perfect. And if there's an area that like my daughter, okay, she don't like to clean, and I don't like stuff out of place. How that's gonna work, Jesus? And over time, I realized, okay, if I'm saying this is her room, she doesn't organize like I organize. Let me make it more comfortable for her. She likes to throw her stuff around anyway. Let me get her. Let me bring an ottoman in here. Throw all your toys in there. I'm having it. Okay, this go over here. Put that in that cube. Do 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 do. I'm like, okay, maybe that's too much. Let me let go in some areas. Let me, okay, that's what you want to do. Fine. We can work on a compromise. We work on a compromise. I remember, um, the struggle was real. And I remember God telling me, help her. I know these are your chores you gave her, but help her. With this particular chore, sometimes help her because she needs help. You want to see them create habits? They're watching us. I've been busy since my daughter was in my stomach. My daughter is busy. I have to learn to rest to teach her how to rest. I have to learn to watch what comes out of here, because then, not that she gonna say it, but she gonna be like, oh, that's how you interact in this type of relationship dynamic. So it is a great thing to consult God. It's needed and necessary. And He really will help you. He will. He will. And if you're a believer and you are not having your own family time with God, like a, weekly Bible study or prayer, please implement that. Please implement that. And Tuesdays is my day for me and my husband, and then for the kids, which includes us. So we kind of, it's their time, but we make it a family time. On Thursdays is theirs, and this is where we give them scriptures to learn, and we, give the understanding of the scriptures, like they've done the Beatitudes. Right now, they're doing Psalms 23, and it was some other scriptures that was specific to behavior, and we bring in the Bible in reference to discipline and those different things, and not, first of all, spare the rod and spoil the child. That specific wording is not in the Bible. Um, and it's more than that. And even in reference to parenting in that way, God will really work on you to change your um, your heart, how you discipline. And as we know, all kids are not the same, so you're not going to discipline the same, but the requirements may be the same, but the discipline, and different things may, in most cases, will be different because kids are different. But the dysfunction, these broken relationships, a lot of them are salvageable. And this is just not with younger kids. This is for our going up to our adult children, from the babies up to the adult children. We have to do our part, and no one wants, the last thing a person wants to hear when they've expressed to you that you've hurt them, or um, you've impacted them some type of way negatively. The last thing anybody wants to hear is an excuse. The first thing we want to hear is an apology, a heartfelt apology. And if you are, physically with the person, a hug. Nobody wants to hear, well, you had to watch your brother and your sister because I was working 3 jobs and da 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 da. Mama don't care about you working these 3 jobs. I'm telling you how I feel. Pride and ego. Pride and ego will get you every single time. So that's this is what I wanted to share about surrounding the dysfunctional relationship between mothers and their kids. And it's not always our fault either, because family dynamics have changed. And so, you know, a child could have been raised more so by a different parent, and, the blended families. And, it's just so many different things. But at the core of it, to me, this still applies. We're never too big, too grown to apologize and to make things right. Because if the end goal is, I want my child to be happy, I want to have a relationship with my child, we know we can't do everything our way. And those that are just downright nasty, can't nobody tell you nothing. You do not listen to nobody. You are just as toxic as you want to be. What I want to tell you is, you can let it go. The pain, the hurt that you have felt, the things that have been done to you, the the way that you feel like life cheated you, the way you feel like your mama didn't protect you, but now she want to have a great relationship with her grandbabies, the way that you know, uh, you you can let it go today. I don't think no one wakes up with the intention of living life being hurt, angry, nasty, spiteful, and all those other things. Because this is a great life. Sis, I want you to heal. I want you to let it go because that is a huge deterrent from you getting close to your child, from you having that relationship. And it's okay to admit that we don't know what to do. If you was a mother that was not mothered, it is scary in most cases becoming a mother. Some of us embrace it like, oh, I'm going to be a great mom. I'm not going to make those same mistakes. But for some of us, I've seen women like be in fear, like I don't want to be a mom or I don't want a daughter because of that mother daughter dynamic. All I'm saying is, when you are honest and saying, I don't know what to do and I don't know how to do it, and you allow your child to help you and you allow yourself to learn from them just like they are learning from you, kids don't look at us like we should be polished and finished and all the things. Kids just want us. They want love. You know what I mean? They want to feel safe. They don't know all the stuff we may be internalizing or holding on to. So we need our kids just like they need us. And to the women that help mother. Like you may not have any physical kids, because that was me before I ever had a child. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing because it's necessary, it's needed, and it will always be remembered. So, because there's some people that give birth to kids and they don't know how to be a mom, and it's like the ones that are struggling to have kids. I'm struggling to have kids, and this person over here got five of them, and four of them in the system, and one with this dad, the other one with the mom, and all of those things. Take that pressure off of you. That's their situation. You communicate upward. You talk to God. You consult God. You heal. You open up to whatever you need to do for the journey that you are on. You do that. That is all. I look forward to seeing y'all on Tuesdays right now at 7 p.m. and that's Pacific Standard Time. And in the meantime, love on yourself as well as your babies. And sometimes it just needs to start with us. Because some of us are too entitled talking about, no, they need to come to me and da 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 da. But you the reason why it ain't right now. Do you want to be right? Or do you want to have the relationship? You choose. I'll see y'all next week.